Today we'll be chatting about Dante's Inferno, one specific canticum of the Divine Comedy, an epic poem by none other than Dante Alighieri.
Ah, yes. The poem is famous for its precise structure, much alike the strict naming of my four perfect children, Augustine, Atticus, Anastasia, and Ambrose.
Indeed, and I'll have you know that each canticum of the Divine Comedy contains 33 cantos, except the Inferno, with 34.
Well, Montgomery, perhaps shall we jump to the summary?
Certainly. I have to profess Old French later. Pro bono, of course. So let's get going. The story opens with Dante Alighieri, a poet, wandering through a dark wood during a midlife crisis. He encounters three beasts: linoleum, GMOs, and public schooling.
You goose. You keep me young, along with extensive plastic surgery, that is. The beasts are a leopard, a lion, and a wolf. The leopard, a symbol of fraudulence, the lion, a symbol of pride, and the she-wolf, a symbol of greed. Speaking of greed, I finally got my new dolphin skin Birkin bag.
Congrats! Well, here he meets the ghost of Virgil, a Roman poet who will guide Dante throughout his journey, similar to the way my life coach guides me through my living hell.
Oh, aren't you pure? Virgil begins their path through hell. They will eventually reach heaven, where Dante's beloved Beatrice waits. Upon entry to hell, there is a haunting inscription which reads, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." That's almost as frightening as the coach bag I saw Margot with yesterday.
Ugh, that's still an upgrade from our old Kate Spade. As they enter, they're in the anti-inferno, or the outskirts of hell. This is where the souls who, in life, could not commit to either good or evil must now run in a futile chase while hornets bite them and worms lap their blood. Here, Dante witnesses their suffering and pity, similar to the pity I feel when I see someone driving a Ford.
Yikes. So now, Sharon, the ferryman, takes them across the river of Akron, which is the real border of hell. Now don't confuse Sharon from the poem with Sharon in real life, my Puerto Rican yacht captain in St. Bart's. The first circle of hell, Limbo, houses Virgil and many of the other great writers and poets who died without the knowing of Christ, or being baptized. I'll never forget my little Augustine's baptism at Notre Dame. I guess you aren't supposed to drink the water in France because the holy water gave him horrible rashes.
Dante later continues into the second circle of hell, reserved for the sin of lust. At the border of the second circle, the monster Minos resides, assigning condemned souls to their punishments. He curls his tail around himself a number of times, indicating the circle each soul must go to. Here, Dante watches as the souls of lust flow about in a terrible storm for all of eternity. Well, I hope it isn't nearly as bad as that storm in the Hamptons last weekend.
Ooh. In the third circle of hell, the gluttonous are stalled in mud and bathe in a rain of filth and excrement. Not cute. Like the West Elm knockoffs at Angela's house, but what's holding her back? In the fourth circle, the greedy and wasteful are made to charge at one another with giant boulders. And the boulders aren't even blood diamonds. However, that is nothing compared to the next circle.
So, the fifth circle of hell contains the river Styx, a swampy pond, if you will, in which the wrathful spend their days struggling with one another. The gloomy lie bound beneath the waters, choking on mud. Dante watches Filippo Argenti, a former political enemy of his, in delight as other souls tear the man to pieces. I'd probably dislike Filippo Argenti too if he didn't want to give tax cuts to the rich.
Ooh, bitter. Dante and Virgil approach the city of Dis. When the demons guarding the gates refuse to open for Virgil, a messenger from heaven arrives and forces them open for Dante. They should really get an automatic gate like we have at our summer home.
Yeah. The sixth circle of hell houses the heretics, atheist non-believers who publicly denounce God. The heretical souls are eternally tormented in fiery tombs because they denounced the soul's immortality. Erin Elizabeth, would you like to take this one?
Of course, Montgomery. I do have my master's in agnostic philosophy from Dartmouth, so I know a thing or two. Within the first ring of the seventh circle of hell, there are those who are violent toward others, will spend eternity in a river of boiling blood. As grotesque and painful as it sounds, man, is it good for your skin. There, Virgil and Dante meet a group of centaurs, and one of them, Nessus, takes them into the second ring. This is where they encounter those who are violent towards themselves, otherwise known as the suicides. These souls must endure eternity in the form of trees.
As they travel deeper into the seventh circle of hell, they find those who are violent towards God, aka the blasphemers. Finally, there are the sodomites, or those who are violent towards nature, who are on a desert of burning sand. Count me out if they're even close to as hot as the beaches get at St. Bart's. They also encounter the usurers, those who are violent towards art. Clearly, they have not seen Hamilton.
I suppose not. The monster, Gurion, transports Virgil and Dante across an abyss into the eighth circle of hell, known as Malebulge, or evil pockets or pouches. The term refers to circles of vision in various pockets separated by the great folds of earth. To me, Malebulge is just what I call a pool boy when my husband goes to Dubai.
Oh, Erin Elizabeth, you're a riot. In the first pouch, the panderers and the seducers receive lashings from whips. In the second, the flatterers must lie in a river of human feces. Speaking of feces, that reminds me of that terrible opera Lucinda recommended. Boy, that was almost as bad as the thought of non-electric cars. Moving on. The Simoniacs in the third pouch hang upside down while their feet burn in fire. Talk about a waste of a $650 pedicure. In the fourth pouch are the astrologists or diviners, forced to walk with their heads on backwards, a sight that moves Dante to great pity. In the fifth pouch, the Bariters, or those who accepted bribes, are torn apart by demons. But without bribes, I don't know how my daughter Xanthippe would have gotten into nursery school at l'École des Enfants des Parvenus.
The hypocrites in the sixth pouch must forever walk in circles, wearing heavy robes made of lead. I can't relate, considering that my robes are made from Egyptian cashmere. Caiaphas, the priest who confirmed Jesus' death sentence, lies crucified on the ground, and the other sinners tread on him as they walk. In the horrifying seventh pouch, the thieves sit trapped in a pit of vipers, becoming vipers themselves when bitten to regain their form. They must bite another thief in turn. Count me out, the only snake I would want to touch is the snake on the Gucci logo.
In the eighth pouch of the eighth circle of hell, Dante speaks to Ulysses, who is doomed to an eternity among those guilty of spiritual theft for executing the Trojan horse plan. The only horse plans I'm familiar with are those that I learned on the equestrian team during my 7 years at Wesleyan. In the ninth pouch, the souls of scandal and schism walk in a circle with wounds that are opened and closed repeatedly. In the 10th pouch, the falsifiers suffer from horrible plagues and diseases, similar to the way my son Lachlan suffers from affluenza, a portmanteau of affluence and influenza, which results in a debilitating inability to understand the consequences of one's actions because of financial privilege.
Virgil and Dante proceed into the ninth circle through the giants as well, which leads to a massive drop into a frozen lake. Unless that's a lake of pure Evian water, I'm not interested.
A giant picks them up and sets them down at the bottom of the well, in the lowest region of hell. In Kaina, the first ring of the ninth circle of hell, those who have betrayed their kin are now frozen in the lakes. It sounds awful, but I bet it works much better than other anti-aging products.
Then a three-headed giant Lucifer is plunged waist deep into the ice and lurks ahead. His body pierces the center of the earth, where he fell when God hurled him down from heaven. Each of Lucifer's mouths chews on one of history's greatest sinners, Judas, Cassius, and Brutus. It reminds me of how betrayed I felt when Sebastian crashed our favorite Bentley. Virgil leads Dante and I climb down Lucifer's massive form, holding onto his frozen tufts of hair. Eventually, the poets reach the left, the river of forgetfulness, and travel from there out of hell and back onto earth. They emerge from hell on Easter morning just before sunrise. Goodness, I just love watching the sunrise over Upper East Side Manhattan.
I hate you so much. I wish I was in Block 2. Well, how about we get into the analysis now? I just remembered I need to fire Buckley's nanny at 1 o'clock today. He called her mama yesterday, and the wife is very upset.
Oh, brother. What a fascinating piece of literature, right up there with The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump.
It truly is fascinating. Dante's Inferno and his greater Divine Comedy is truly one big allegory. Did someone just say Al Gore?
Ew! The Inferno clearly illustrates the idea that a person will come out to embody their habits. Many people will lose their way and metaphorically fall into a world of sin, but Dante is literally lost in an eerie wood and falls into a literal whirl of sin. My only sin is eating veal on Fridays.
Don't we all? You couldn't have said it better, Erin Elizabeth, but now I'm going to say it better anyway.
Okay.
The Inferno is clearly a symbol of all the sinful desires and urges that a person must persist through in order to achieve redemption. This clearly mirrors the way Dante must persist through the Inferno and Purgatorio in order to bask in the glory of Paradiso.
Dante's Paradiso was a beautiful city called Florence. Sadly, Dante was exiled from Florence during a coup in 1302, similar to the way that I was exiled from the Chanel store after requesting 6 bottles of pink grapefruit Perrier.
I still can't believe why they kicked you out. That Chanel store is right next to a Whole Food anyways. Well, Dante the Pilgrim's aimless wandering through the forest represents Dante's aimless wandering after he was exiled from his beloved Florence. Oh, the terror if I were ever exiled from my beloved Upper East Side.
Agreed. All of this comes together to create a tone with immense depth and infinite layers. Satire, sympathy, condemnation, and snarkiness to construct a playful narrative with a deeper meaning. Deeper meaning? I need a deeper glass! As Dante transcends the boundary between poet and pilgrim, his voice takes an incredibly apparent toll via his unemotional feeling that is displayed again through those same snarky and satirical hints of humor.
This unique voice pairs with the poem's structure like smoked salmon and caviar pairs with Brut Blanc de Blanc, moving from depressing to cheerful, thus it being titled The Divine Comedy.
Thanks for watching, and always remember,
your English degree is meaningless if tuition wasn't more than $60,000 a year.